This is a story about a man named Dorr Allen, who had lots of ideas and lots of dreams and wasn't afraid of pursuing them. Young Allen was born on August 5th, 1918 in Kingston, Utah, on his family's farm, inside an old 2-room log cabin. He was the 8th of 12 children. As a first grader, Carling wasn't too excited about reading. When his father convinced him that Santa was watching and would put a new red tricycle under the tree if he could learn to read well, he learned. He rode the tricycle inside and outside, and even persuaded his father to put a cement ramp instead of steps to the front veranda of the new house, making a 45-foot speedway for his trike. He ignored the tricycle seat and sat down on the back crossbars to get better leverage for speed. He was showing early signs of creativity and innovation. As a 6th grader, Carling enjoyed having a great teacher who made learning fun. When he began to slack off in writing, the teacher, who was his uncle, said he was too lazy to try and then walked away. Taking the challenge, Carling completed the course and received an A. He learned early how to work hard to achieve his goals. Carling's family was a musical family. After World War II began, those still at home organized themselves into a dance band and played for dances in the surrounding towns. This was the beginning of a lifetime of developing his interests and talents. In 1940, Carling enlisted in the United States Army. He was in the 353rd Engineer Regiment and was part of the 115th Engineers Band. In February 1942, while thinking about home and dreaming about tractors on his family's farm, Carling wrote a letter to Henry Ford to run an idea for a new tractor design past him. Ford's response was, "In all probability, it's an old idea, but you may send the diagram if you care to." Carling completed a drawing of what he called the Allen wheel tractor. He did not send it to Ford, but pursued securing a patent. A few years after the 17-year life of his letter patent expired, a man by the name of Alice Chalmers came out with the same tractor. Carling was always one to dream about new ideas and how he could invent them. When a new bass fiddle was sent to the Army band, Carling was given the charge to learn how to play it. This was his first experience playing a string instrument, and he found it to be a great challenge. However, Carling was always up for learning new things, and within 10 days, he was playing the bass fiddle for the first time at an officer's dance. He wasn't afraid of doing hard things. He used his inventive skills to make Army life more comfortable for his fellow soldiers. He built several cabinets for their supplies and a few small tables to make writing letters home easier. He also set up an old tent outside surrounding the tent they were living in, which allowed the heat from the outer tent to be carried up and out the top. This design made their tent 10 to 15 degrees cooler. Making improvements on everyday things was something Carling was very good at doing. While serving on an island in the South Pacific, Carling was concerned about his father's health and medical bills. While walking along the beach one day, he dreamed up a way to help. He spent his spare time for a few days gathering seashells along the beach and then assembled them into bracelets. A few of them sold and the business took off. Reinvesting the money, he got more shells and looked for ways to improve the product, adding a plexiglass insignia and hiring friends to help. He was able to send $400, which would be $7,000 today, to his father, and his father recovered. During this time of his life, Carling was working on some important business skills that he would use later in his life. Before leaving to serve in the war, Carling attended Snow College in Ephraim, Utah for a year, and then went to Branch Agricultural College in Cedar City, Utah. When he returned home from the war, he attended a dance where he met Karma Hansen. He fell in love with her, and they were married December 23, 1946. Together, they attended Brigham Young University. During his 4 years at BYU, he played the bass fiddle in one of the best dance bands in Utah. In 1949, Carling graduated from BYU with a degree in music. After earning his degree, Carling and Karma moved their little family, which now included 2 children, to Circleville, Utah. In Circleville, Carling taught both band and choir at Paiute High School. He also taught classes of algebra, science, history, geography, and typing. His favorite classes, though, were always the ones in the music department. He loved teaching these classes and was successful in growing the music program during his years teaching at Paiute High School. Carling, with the help of his brothers, built a home for his family in Circleville. Thanks to Carling's ingenuity and creativity, the Allen family had the best backyard in town. Carling built a cement ramp from the back door of their home, a basketball court, and a small picnic pavilion. For their camping trips, he built a camper shell on the back of his truck. As Carling was building their home, his wife Karma asked him, "Can't you do something to do away with the nuisance of chairs? Can't you hang some seats from a table?" Always ready for a challenge, Carling created the first Unidine table, which was a built-in unit with 9 seats. People who saw the Unidine table got excited about the idea and encouraged Carling to build a business. He rented an old high school to use as a manufacturing plant. He designed and constructed all of the tools he needed to build his new invention of tables with suspended chairs and went to work refining the system. In 1965, he was issued a U.S. patent for his invention. He used an old linen truck and a VW van to haul the tables. Carling resigned from teaching school and began working on the business full-time. His company began to grow, and he decided to move the business to a larger city. In 1969, the family made the decision to move the business to Provo. In spite of his best efforts, Carling's dream of making the business successful did not happen at that time. In order to provide for his family, Carling began work as a salesman for World Book encyclopedias. He had to travel a lot, but was determined to be successful. He loved the knowledge found on the pages of the books and was successful in being able to sell them. He worked for the company for 15 years and received several awards. After he retired from World Book sales, Carling began again to build up his Unidine business, using his garage as a manufacturing center. Carling's persistence paid off, and Unidine grew and became a successful business. He quickly outgrew his garage and moved to a manufacturing plant in Orem, Utah. This was a great time in Carling's life, as he was able to do what he loved, which was to build his tables and chairs. Several years later, Carling brought on partners to assist with the business, and the name was changed to Seating Innovations. Seating Innovations continues to produce and sell his suspended chairs. They can be found in homes, offices, restaurants, medical buildings, schools, libraries, hospitals, motorhomes, and houseboats. During the later years of his life, Carling was able to enjoy time with the love of his life, Karma, their children and grandchildren. Carling Dorr Allen, the man with many dreams, was able to accomplish great things and pursue many of his ideas because he wasn't afraid to learn new things, be creative, and work hard. One of the greatest accomplishments of his life was having a family. He cherished his wife, loved his children and grandchildren, and always made them his top priority. All of these things combined made him a great man. You too can be like Carling and follow your dreams.